Okay, so did you guys have heard about a couple of the moves that have gone on here in court? Because I want to give a little bit of an update here. So this is a state case, the Ninth Circuit case in court. So they've now moved. They have 4 out-of-state attorneys. So they've moved for all of these attorneys to be admitted what's called pro hoc vice, which is under the umbrella of a Florida lawyer. So the Florida lawyer is kind of like signing off for them. It's not going to pull up the document. Let's see if we pull up the document right there. It's not going to pull it up. All right. So I'll get the document later. But the point of the matter is that all these other lawyers, these out-of-state lawyers, are being called in. But what I've done and gone and looked at is none of them have any experience in real estate, special districts, anything else. These are all really commercial litigators that do large civil litigation that maybe deal with
what law firm are they from?
The federal issues. I think we can pull that up. We actually have the complaint. It's most of the lawyers that are in the complaint.
I wonder if it's the same one from Sacramento.
It's these guys. So you've got Alan Schoenfield for sure, Daniel Percelli, Jonathan Hacker, and one other guy from out of state. But yeah, no, these guys are coming in under the umbrella of their Florida firm, which they seem to have solely hired just to admit these guys in to the state. So that's like the update we have so far.
Aren't these guys the same guys handling the federal case?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're telling me the same group of morons?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, Andrew, are you telling me? No,
Yes.
Andrew, no
Yes.
way. No,
Yes.
they didn't.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Because they're going to try to make the same arguments in these cases. They're going to try to make the federal arguments in state court, and they're going to try to argue this federal supremacy thing. Because that's one thing that like Reuters brought up recently. You know, they had an article on how it's going to play out between the two dueling lawsuits. And while their take, as with most mainstream media, was not great, they did correctly identify, even the mainstream media correctly identified that right here, legal doctrines hold that federal judges should refrain from hearing a case where there is a related state court proceeding, particularly when a state court decision could resolve the federal lawsuit. This is the first time I have seen this anywhere, somebody admitting that the state case matters more than the federal case, because that's the reality and the facts. And they finally had to admit it. Now they go on and try to make an excuse. And by the way, some people want me to steel man for Disney. So here is the steel man for Disney, which I agree with. I don't think it's likely. I don't think it's going to happen. But the only chance for Disney, the best chance for Disney, is if Judge Walker does not get disqualified. This is the judge that openly has made anti-Ron DeSantis comments, has openly said this is a case about Disney being discriminated against before this case was even filed. He's made comments about this. So he's going to get disqualified under like the typical procedure. But let's pretend in an imaginary world he doesn't get disqualified for these openly, egregiously anti-DeSantis comments. He could allow it to proceed on the last count. So the development agreements and the restrictive covenants on all these counts, there's 6 counts here, right? So there's contracts clause, takings clause, due process, First Amendment violation. That's just whatever. First Amendment violation, right? There's 2 First Amendment violations. The second First Amendment violation, it's based on solely Ron DeSantis's actions in disbanding RCID. So if they were to focus on that one alone, they could argue they have standing on just that issue. However, I don't think that's likely. I don't think the federal case is going to want to go forward on just one of these 5 causes of action. At least warnings.
That's what I keep wondering. And you and I, Andrew, have talked about this from day one. And it's, you know, this all still boils down to, sorry, in the United States, regardless of what, you know, Gen Z might think, the states are still sovereign and the 14th Amendment still exists. Yeah. There are things that are not within the federal purview that are reserved for the states and the people respectively. And things like, I don't know, property law within the state or special districts, that is clearly within a state's purview. And that's where this case has gone off the rails.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to sound ridiculous with this. Disney understands that. They know this.
Yes.
This is all smoke and mirrors to satiate the pixie dusters out there.
Yes.
This is all like, we're going to gin up because look, Disney
Well, actually,
above anybody
I'll
else.
go even further. Do you guys think they knew that Desantis was going to declare, and this was to muck up his presidential run?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody knew he was running. Everybody knew he was running.
We kind of knew, right? We kind of knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like this was more of a political. This case is more of a political case because now they've got that tagline that Gavin Newsom used, that Kerry Lake used, that, oh, well, you're getting owned by Disney. And it's like, well, he's not, but okay. So, but you've got that tagline now. So I think as a social media thing, this is actually really powerful. Of course, we've been dismembering that, left and right, but I think that was the push there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so getting in with the cause of action. So this one right here, the fifth cause of action, if they get rid of the restrictive covenants, this is the only one they can get away with because it's really based on the enactment of the Senate bills. Mm-hmm. So, these are the Senate bills which disbanded RCID
and the Florida Senate and House bills, folks.
Yeah, the Senate,
Florida Senate and House.
But by the way, the reason why this would fail and why this is not a winner is because those bills didn't just disband RCID. They disbanded 6 old, like pre-1960s districts.
Yep.
So this is not
Andrew,
go
more
down
specifically, if I'm not wrong, just to clarify, 6 pre-189 and 190 districts.
Yes.
The new law, the new statutes.
Yes. So they were before 189 and 190. Yes. So now the answer is, look, if you want, we'll remake you under 190. You can do that like anybody else, just like Universal with their special district that was just approved. Did you guys hear about that?
I saw that. I'm like,
right.
I haven't had a chance to comment on it. I'm like, yeah. I mean, how about the biggest middle finger on earth?
I finally can talk about it too, because I've known about this for years, and I was like, I mean, and I've said this, and I can say this now. I was pushing Universal to go to this legislature and get a Reedy Creek, and honestly,
yes.
I actually said we should sue the government, and I actually said this: we should sue them that they allowed that Disney to still do this in 20 whatever, and just get them to at least at a minimum. I told them this too. I'm like, at a minimum, we can get them to repeal RCID because I really don't like RCID. And I'm like, these guys should come after them even.
And by them, you were talking to Universal,
right?
Yes.
So it's like, but they're like, all right, we can just play nice with everybody and go to CDD and stay quiet, which I think is the smart thing to do. And it appears that's what they've done.
So 2 points for me. One is one point is that when this whole thing blew back a year ago and all the way leading up to what's happened more recently, having done local municipal stuff like this, I could not believe that Disney didn't just say, let's go get a new district, given the new law, because that would have been the intelligent thing to do, the reasonable thing to do, and the financially responsible thing to do. And now Universal just basically went and did the financial thing to do, the easy thing to do, the logical thing to do, the expedient thing to do. Universal it's just kicked their ass again. And by the way, the fact of the matter is that because there's so many multiple districts, as you pointed out in your analysis on your videos, Andrew, is that blows out their whole argument. If you read their filing, this obviously isn't a free speech issue. They certainly aren't targeted, and this isn't about being vindictive when there's 6 districts total that are subject to the same law that is basically being enacted for the good of the state of Florida. I mean, just that is blown out of the water immediately.
Yep. Oh yeah. It blows all of Disney's arguments out of the water. And even there was an argument on Twitter that just got forwarded over to me today, which was that Disney actually doesn't have real plans to develop any of the things they said they were going to develop in the comprehensive plan and the development agreements. So there's no harm. So like, even if, these are all separate arguments, any one of which nukes Disney's entire argument, which is why anybody who's serious about the law, anybody who knows the underlying law, knows that there's no chance of them.
But Andrew, Disney pledged.
Okay, Amber Heard. Okay, Amber. And Doug says, congratulations, Andrew, from the free state of Wyoming, which doesn't actually exist. Is Wyoming one of the states where Disney said they might move to? Is that one of the ones that they might relocate the Magic Kingdom to? I don't know.
God, in that video you did that with if Kerry Lake's take on her case is anything like Kerry Lake's case on Disney, I'm not surprised she lost. God,
oh no, yeah,
what
that
a
was
moron.
Bad. But these people are just, and that's what I don't like. You know, look, people can like, and I have people in the chat who are like, I like Kerry Lake. You know, I'm like, okay, that's great. But if you like her, you should expect more from her.
Yep.
You know?
Well, and I think there's also an overlap of people who probably have interests in Disney or Disney-related interests that are on either side of the aisle, and that's where you got to watch out for some of these people that are saying, oh, well, I think it's this, and I think it's that, and it's a silly thing to do that to them, and it's like, why would you say that unless you have some kind of vested interest in this?
Well, and that's what slipped. I caught that one Disney shill who he slipped up and said, oh, yeah, I went deep on Disney and invested in Disney in this year, and I'm like, that's why you have this take, right? You let it slip. And remember, you guys know this, Valiant and you know, Mike, you know this for sure. Disney is a staple for basic stock investing. People consider that kind of just a basic, like, oh, I'm going to invest in a safe company. Coca-Cola, Disney, you know, things that have a moat, you know, as Warren Buffett would say, something that's hard to duplicate. They have certain IPs that really are unassailable for now. I think that's one of the things that really is so shocking about this and potentially damning for people's investments, because normal everyday people invested in Disney. They bought Disney because they think Disney will be around, you know, as long as America will be around. But they're getting real burnt in the stock market right now.
Oh yeah.
Certainly, I hope. I feel bad for the folks that are depending on Disney for their retirement, and now they've lost, 10, 20% from at least from like the localized high. This video has been a clip of a previous live stream, and it's clipped so you can get the information in a shorter, compact package, the information you need. If you want the full video, the whole context, the whole thing, you can check out the full stream that is in the link below. Check that out, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.